How do you think the new Al-Qaeda leadership will affect the Middle East and then globally, or do you think they're basically done now that Osama bin Laden is gone?
I think they're going to have a lot of trouble for all the reasons that I noted. The organization, not the ideology, but the organization is broken, certainly under great pressure. It's going to continue to be under great pressure. Killing bin Laden was probably not nearly as useful as getting all those hard drives in terms of intelligence. So I think that the pressure on Al-Qaeda as an organization is going to increase. And the current leadership is, they don't have, I hate to use the word legitimacy in the same sentence with bin Laden, but for their internal purposes, from their point of view, they don't, so here he doesn't have his legitimacy, doesn't have his charisma, and doesn't have the resources that bin Laden had in the beginning. So life's got to be a lot tougher.
Okay. And post Osama bin Laden now, how did you say the U.S. can improve its tarnished image that it's acquired in the Middle East now?
Stop doing stupid stuff. Deliberately reduce our presence in Afghanistan and Iraq. Abandon the idea that it's useful to retain bases there. They'll only be a source of irritation, not strategic value. Come down on the American side in the Arab-Israeli conflict, and on the side, as I said earlier, not of the Israeli right, but the right Israelis. There's, the Israeli peace initiative has been issued by military and security and civil leaders, been supported by academic leaders in Israeli society, and the President of the United States needs to get on their side, not on the Israeli rights side, which is rejectionist and is pushing us into policies that are not in our interest.
Okay. And lastly, what would you say is the future for the new leadership and reforms that are taking place now in the countries that have had these revolutions and riots?
Well, I don't yet think they're revolutions. I think the future in Tunisia and in Egypt is for improvements in governance, pretty incremental and gradual moves toward a participative democracy, but nevertheless in that direction. But you're still going to have security-centric states in charge with which the people will be interacting under circumstances that will be marginally better than they were before. But I don't think we're going to get much of a revolution in the near future. On the other hand, there's been improvement in governance across the board. I think Morocco's getting to be a better place than it was. Saudi Arabia is a remarkably more participative society than it had been. It's getting better educated, investing in the things that are going to enable them to live in a world where maybe they have less oil to sell. I see a generally positive trend, complicated by serious resource restrictions, the population boom, and unless we start getting smarter, a less helpful United States than they need to make their progress.
All right, thank you for your time.